Ladies and gentlemen, right now, I need you to pull back from everything you think about your life, because there's a truth out there that most people don't want to admit. Life is easier and harder at the same time. And when you finally catch that, when you let that sink in, your whole game changes. See, we live in a world where the moment seems ripe technology, access, speed everywhere. That's the easier side. But at the very same moment, the expectations, the competition, the noise, that's the harder side, and the secret, not to run from the hard, not to cling only to the easy, but to master both. I'm talking about a legacy, mindset move. You don't just want to survive the easy or complain about the hard. You want to stand in both, stand tall and move forward. Because real success, the kind that echoes beyond you, isn't born in comfort alone, and it isn't born in struggle alone, it's born when you wield both. Today I'm going to walk you through why life gives you ease and resistance at the same time, how to navigate that duality, how to turn what feels hard into your greatest leverage, and what it means to build a legacy by owning this truth. Life carries this strange duality that most people never slow down enough to see. On one hand, it feels easier than ever before the world moves at the speed of convenience. You can talk to anyone across the planet in seconds, learn anything with a few clicks, and build a future without even leaving your home. But on the other hand, that same world feels heavier. Expectations are higher, noise is louder, pressure is deeper. You have access to everything, yet peace feels rare. Opportunity is everywhere, yet fulfillment seems to hide. That's the dual nature of life. It gives and it tests, it opens and it resists. It hands you comfort and challenge in the same breath, and the way you respond defines everything. See, the truth is that life was never meant to be just easy or just hard. It's a blend. It's designed to stretch you in both directions, to keep you grateful for what you have and hungry for what you can become. When things get easier, life checks if you'll stay disciplined or grow soft. When things get harder, life checks if you'll stay committed or break down. It's never one without the other, because without resistance, there's no growth. Without ease, there's no reward. Both exist to sharpen you, to keep you awake, aware, and accountable. Most people want one side of life. They chase ease and reject the struggle. They want success without pressure, impact without effort, peace without responsibility. But that's not how life works. You can't grow through only what's comfortable. You don't discover who you are when things are simple. You discover it when everything feels uncertain, and you still choose to move forward. Ease builds momentum, but struggle builds depth. And when both meet, that's where transformation happens. The dual nature of life is like the inhale and exhale of growth. The easy side gives you breathe, the hard side gives you strength. One keeps you alive, the other keeps you capable. When you start seeing both sides as essential, you stop complaining about the hard, and you stop taking the easy for granted. You start to respect the process. Because every easy phase is preparing you for a bigger challenge, and every hard phase is preparing you for a bigger blessing. Think about it, every major step forward in your life probably came right after something difficult. That heartbreak that made you stronger, that failure that forced you to grow, that delay that taught you patience, that rejection that redirected you to purpose. The hard wasn't there to hurt you, it was there to wake you up. And when you overcame it, life opened up again. Things started to flow, opportunities appeared, confidence grew. That's the easy side returning as a reward. But the moment you get too comfortable, life will throw another test. Not because it hates you, but because it's trying to refine you. This is what most never understand. Life is not against you, it's training you. The easier moments are to let you breathe, to remind you that progress is possible. The harder moments are to make you build muscle, to ensure that when you reach higher levels, you can carry the weight that comes with them. Every season has a purpose. The light shows you direction, the dark teaches you resilience. One without the other is imbalance. When you start embracing both sides, your mindset changes. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? You stop running from struggle and start using it as a tool. You stop seeking a life without storms and start learning how to sail through them. Because legacy isn't built in comfort zones, it's built in contrast. It's built in moments when everything feels heavy, but you refuse to break. It's built when you find peace in chaos and purpose in pain. The secret is awareness. Most people are so busy reacting that they forget to observe. But when you watch life closely, you'll see a pattern. Every ease invites distraction, and every struggle invites discipline. When things are easy, that's when you must stay grounded. When things are hard, that's when you must stay faithful. Because both sides test your character. One tests your humility. The other tests your endurance. If you fail either, you lose balance, but if you master both, you become unstoppable. Understand this greatness isn't about avoiding difficulty or chasing comfort, it's about handling both with purpose. When life feels easy, use it to build momentum. When life feels hard, use it to build strength. When it feels uncertain, use it to build faith. That's how you grow beyond average. That's how you build something lasting. Life will never be just one tone, it will always be harmony and tension, peace and storm, joy and challenge. But that's what makes it beautiful. The dual nature of life isn't a curse, it's the very design that turns you into who you're meant to become. When you finally see that, you stop trying to escape difficulty and you start learning from it. You stop wishing for ease alone and you start preparing for both. Because real mastery isn't about controlling what life gives, it's about controlling how you show up in every part of it. And that's when everything changes, when you stop fighting the duality and start flowing with it. When you rise above comfort and struggle, ease and pain, wins and losses, and you realize they were all working together, shaping you into something stronger, wiser, and unshakable. That's the power of understanding life's dual nature, not to run from it, but to rise within it. Growth never comes dressed in comfort. It doesn't arrive in silence or ease. It comes wrapped in challenge, disguised in pain, hidden behind moments that test your patience, your courage, your faith. The truth is, everything that grows does so under pressure. Diamonds are born under it, muscles are built by it, and strong minds are shaped because of it. Hardship isn't punishment, it's preparation. It's the universe's way of asking you, how much do you really want it? It's not there to break you, it's there to build you. The moments you call hard are actually the forge, the place where strength is molded and identity is revealed. Anyone can smile when life feels light, but who you truly are shows up when everything feels heavy. It's in those nights you can't sleep, when doubt screams louder than belief, that your real power is born. Hardship strips away the unnecessary. It takes comfort out of your hands so you can finally reach for growth. It removes distractions, excuses, and pride until all that's left is raw potential, waiting to be shaped. See, growth doesn't happen in the sunshine of success. It happens in the grind, in the struggle, in the rain. You don't learn who you are when things go right. You learn when everything goes wrong and you still choose to rise. The pain you feel right now isn't a signal to stop. It's a sign that you're evolving. It's proof that something inside you is expanding beyond what it used to be. Every setback, every loss, every moment of frustration is a lesson in disguise, not punishment, but process. The strongest people you'll ever meet didn't escape hardship. They walked through it. They didn't get lucky, they got forged. They failed, cried, doubted, fell, and still moved forward. That's what separates dreamers from doers. The dreamer wants the reward without the weight. The doer understands that growth demands the weight because the pressure you carry today becomes the power you hold tomorrow. When you face hardship, your instinct might be to run, to look for comfort, to ask, why me? But the question should be, what is this trying to make of me? Because every struggle carries a message about your strength, your resilience, your potential. You can choose to focus on the pain or the purpose. One weakens you, the other transforms you. The pain is temporary, but the lesson lasts forever. Most people think hardship is a detour from the path, but in reality it is the path, the road to mastery, to success, to peace. It runs straight through difficulty. You can't skip it, you can only learn to move with it. Each obstacle teaches you something vital: discipline, patience, strategy, humility. And the moment you stop resisting it, you start growing from it. Because resistance to pain only multiplies it. But when you face it, when you lean into it, it starts to work for you instead of against you. Think back to every major shift in your life. You didn't grow when things were easy, you grew when life forced you to adapt. You grew when you had no other choice but to fight through. You grew when the world said you couldn't, and you decided to prove that you could. Those are the moments that built your spirit. You might not have seen it then, but every tear, every failure, every lonely night was shaping the strength you stand on now. That's the beauty of hardship. It doesn't ask for permission, but it always leaves you better than it found you. There's a reason pressure and greatness always walk together. You can't lead without having carried something heavy. You can't inspire without having overcome something real. You can't teach strength if you've never faced weakness. The hardship you face is the credibility of your story. It's what gives weight to your words and purpose to your journey. Without it, success feels shallow. With it, success becomes sacred because you earned it. When life hits hard, don't see it as a stop sign. See it as a test. The universe is asking if you can hold your ground when everything shakes. Can you trust the process when it makes no sense? Can you keep your focus when everything in you wants to quit? Because that's what separates ordinary from extraordinary. It's not talent, it's not luck, it's the decision to endure, to stay committed even when you can't see the result yet. Growth through hardship is not about pretending everything's fine. It's about understanding that pain has a purpose. It's about facing your fears, owning your struggles, and allowing every trial to strengthen your foundation. You don't escape the storm, you learn to stand taller in it. Every scar you carry isn't a reminder of pain, it's a badge of growth. It says, I went through the fire and I came out stronger. So when the next challenge comes, and it will, don't wish it away. Don't ask for life to be easier, ask to become stronger. Don't wait for calm seas, learn to command the waves, because that's how you evolve, that's how you rise, that's how you build a life that has meaning beyond comfort. The greatest version of you isn't born in what's easy, it's born in what's earned. The struggle is not your enemy, it's your greatest ally in disguise. And when you start to see hardship as the foundation of growth, that's when you stop surviving and start becoming unstoppable. Everything begins in the mind. Every victory, every failure, every direction your life takes starts with how you think. Mindset isn't just a word people throw around. It's the foundation of who you become. You can have all the talent, all the connections, all the resources, but if your mindset isn't aligned with your purpose, you'll sabotage your own potential. Because it's not what happens to you that defines you, it's how you think about what happens to you. Your mindset is the filter that shapes your response, and your response shapes your reality. The truth is, most people never lose because of lack of opportunity. They lose because of how they see the opportunity. They let fear, doubt, and insecurity whisper louder than discipline, belief, and courage. They see setbacks as signs to quit instead of signals to grow. That's what separates the few who rise from the many who settle. Mindset, the difference between I can't and I will, between why me and try me, between people who dream of a legacy and those who build one. You have to understand that the world doesn't change until your mind does. You can't build a new life with an old mindset. The thoughts you tolerate become the limits you live with. If you keep feeding your mind with excuses, your life will reflect them. But when you start feeding it belief, focus, and intention, everything shifts, because mindset is the lens that colors every experience. Two people can face the same struggle. One breaks, the other builds. The difference isn't circumstance, it's perspective. Mindset is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing how you'll respond when it's not. You can't control the storm, but you can control how you stand in it. You can't always control timing, but you can control effort. You can't always control what life throws, but you can control what you throw back, and that control, that inner mastery, is what gives you power. Once your mind is stable, no chaos outside can shake you. Once your vision is clear, no distraction can pull you off course. People waste years waiting for the perfect moment, the right plan, the easier path. But a strong mindset doesn't wait, it builds. It doesn't wish, it works. It doesn't complain, it commits. Because those with powerful mindsets understand that life bends to those who refuse to bow. You can't walk with conviction if your thoughts are full of doubt. You can't speak with confidence if your inner voice keeps questioning your worth. You can't rise if your own mind keeps pulling you down. That's why mindset is everything. It's the invisible force behind every visible result. You have to train your thoughts like a muscle. Just as your body needs resistance to grow stronger, your mind needs challenges to grow sharper. Every obstacle is a workout for your mentality. Every setback is a test of focus. Every failure is a mirror that asks, are you done or are you determined? Because the truth is, your mindset decides whether you evolve or dissolve. The moment you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your life. The greatest transformation happens the day you stop saying, I hope it gets better, and start saying, I'll make it better. That's the moment you take your power back, because life doesn't reward those who wait. It rewards those who think differently. When your mindset is rooted in discipline, faith, and gratitude, even chaos becomes a classroom. You stop fearing the unknown because you've trained yourself to adapt. You stop chasing validation because your focus is on growth. You stop reacting emotionally and start responding strategically. Mindset determines your consistency. Motivation fades, excitement fades, but a solid mindset keeps you moving when the feeling disappears. When you build a mindset that says, no matter what, I'll find a way, you become dangerous to mediocrity because nothing external can stop someone who's mastered their internal world. You stop fighting for attention and start fighting for purpose. You stop waiting for doors to open and start building your own. There will always be noise, people doubting, situations shaking, seasons changing, but your mindset must remain anchored. It's not arrogance, it's clarity. You know who you are, you know what you're here to do, and you refuse to let temporary emotions dictate permanent decisions. That's the power of mental discipline. It's what keeps you calm when others panic, focused when others fold, and grounded when others drift. A powerful mindset turns pain into purpose, failure into feedback, pressure into performance. It takes everything that was meant to stop you and uses it to strengthen you. That's what winners do. They don't see obstacles as walls, they see them as weights, something to lift, something to grow with. Because they understand that the only way forward is through. Your thoughts are building your future right now. Every belief you hold is either building your legacy or burying it. So guard your mind like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't let negativity rent space in your head. Don't let fear dictate your actions. Don't let comfort convince you that you've arrived. Keep stretching. Keep evolving. Keep mastering the unseen battles that happen inside your head every single day. Because at the end of the day, success is not just about skill, it's about mindset. It's not about what you have, it's about how you think. When your mindset aligns with your purpose, your world expands. When your thoughts align with your goals, your actions follow. And when your actions align with your vision, legacy becomes inevitable. You don't just survive, you rise. You don't just exist, you lead. That's the power of mindset. It's the difference between living in limitation and living with legacy. Ownership is the turning point of every transformation. It's that moment when you stop pointing fingers, stop waiting for rescue, stop blaming the system, the people, the past, and you finally say, "It's on me." That's the shift that separates those who talk about change from those who become the change. Because the truth is, nothing in your life will move until you take full responsibility for it. Not partial, not conditional, not when it's convenient, but full. Ownership means you claim everything that happens in your world, whether you caused it or not, and you decide to lead yourself through it. That's where real power begins. Most people spend their entire lives stuck in the loop of excuses. They say they're waiting for better timing, better support, better luck, but the truth is they're waiting for life to fix itself. Ownership destroys that illusion. It forces you to realize that no one is coming to save you. No one owes you anything. If you want it, you build it. If you broke it, you repair it. If it hurts, you heal it. That's ownership, and it's not easy, but it's necessary, because until you own your life, you'll always be controlled by it. Taking ownership doesn't mean you blame yourself for everything. It means you empower yourself to respond to anything. It means you stop saying, "It's not my fault," and start saying, "It's still my responsibility." That shift changes everything. Because the moment you take responsibility, you take control. You move from victim to leader, from passive to proactive, from reaction to creation. Ownership turns chaos into clarity, because now you're not asking, "Why is this happening to me?" You're asking, "What can I do with this?" People who live without ownership stay stuck in cycles. They repeat the same problems, make the same excuses, and wonder why nothing changes. But those who own their reality learn from it. They don't hide behind mistakes, they build from them. They don't waste time defending their failures, they use them as data, because ownership is not about being perfect, it's about being honest. It's about having the courage to say, "This is where I am, this is what I did, and this is what I'm going to do about it." That honesty unlocks growth. There's freedom in ownership, but there's also weight. Because when you take ownership, you can't complain anymore, you can't blame, you can't escape the mirror. You have to face yourself, your habits, your choices, your effort. And that's uncomfortable for most people, but that's also why most people never evolve. They want results without reflection, success without accountability, progress without pressure. But you can't build a strong life on weak responsibility. You can't build legacy while living in denial. Growth only starts when you stop lying to yourself about why things are the way they are. When you take ownership, you stop letting your past dictate your future. You stop letting emotions make your decisions. You stop waiting for permission to change, because ownership is the declaration that says, "This is my life, my journey, my responsibility." You stop asking for validation. You stop expecting others to understand your vision. You start leading yourself with discipline, not emotion. You stop negotiating with your potential. You make decisions that match your goals, not your comfort zone. Ownership also means being accountable for your energy, how you show up, how you think, how you speak. Every word you say carries direction. Every choice you make carries consequence. You can't talk about positivity and live in negativity. You can't dream big and act small. Ownership means alignment. Your words, actions, and intentions must move in the same direction. And when they do, life responds, because the universe doesn't reward intention alone. It rewards integrity with action. Understand this, you can't build power on excuses. Every time you blame, you give your strength away. You hand control to whatever you blame people, circumstances, luck. But when you own it, you take your power back. You become untouchable because now, no matter what happens, you know how to respond. You know how to pivot. You know how to grow through it. That's what leaders do. They don't wait for ideal conditions. They create them. They don't wait for inspiration, they act their way into it. Taking ownership also means owning your mindset. You decide what story you tell yourself. You decide whether failure is a wall or a lesson. You decide whether pain breaks you or builds you. You decide whether life controls you or you command it. And the more ownership you take, the more peace you find. Because control isn't found in predicting everything, it's found in preparing for anything. It's easy to point outward, but real change begins when you point inward. The moment you take ownership of your habits, your focus, your environment, your reactions, everything changes. You start to see patterns clearly. You stop repeating history. You start designing your days intentionally. That's when momentum builds, because life moves for those who move with purpose. Ownership is where self-respect begins. You can't respect yourself if you keep running from your responsibility. You can't trust yourself if you keep breaking your own word. Every time you follow through, every time you admit a mistake and correct it, you rebuild that trust. You start believing in your own word again. And that belief is power. The truth is, no one becomes great by accident. Every legacy was built by someone who decided to own their story, the good, the bad, the ugly, and use it to lead. They didn't hide their scars. They turned them into reminders of strength. They didn't deny their failures. They used them as foundations. Ownership is the bridge between who you are and who you're meant to be. So take it, own your decisions, own your growth, own your future. Because the moment you do, you become unstoppable. The moment you take full responsibility, you take full authority. Life stops happening to you and starts happening through you. That's when everything shifts. That's when you stop being a passenger and start being the driver of your destiny. That's when you step into power, not because you were given it, but because you claimed it. Comfort is the silent killer of potential. It feels safe, it feels warm, but it slowly numbs the fire that once pushed you to grow. Legacy and comfort can't live in the same place. One demands sacrifice, the other demands nothing. One stretches you, the other keeps you still. And every day you're choosing between them. You're either building something that outlives you, or you're settling for something that just gets you through. Legacy is born in the space where comfort dies. It's built by those who are willing to pay the price that comfort refuses to pay. See, comfort is the language of the now. Legacy is the language of forever. Comfort says, take it easy. Legacy says, do it anyway. Comfort tells you to stop when it hurts. Legacy tells you to push because it matters. Comfort wants you to avoid failure. Legacy wants you to learn from it. The people who leave their mark on the world are not the ones who found the easiest road. They're the ones who stayed committed when it got hardest. They chose purpose over pleasure, discipline over desire, mission over mood. That's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. The problem is, comfort disguises itself as peace. It convinces you that slowing down is safety, that playing small is wisdom, that waiting for the right time is strategy. But comfort doesn't keep you safe, it keeps you stuck. It steals your hunger, it dulls your vision, it whispers excuses until you forget what you were capable of. And when you look back, you realize that every comfort zone you protected was actually a cage you built for yourself. Legacy doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in challenge, in risk, in courage. It grows in those moments when you decide that your purpose is bigger than your pain. The ones who build legacy understand that every great result comes with great responsibility. They know that comfort will give them rest today but regret tomorrow. They'd rather lose sleep than lose their soul to mediocrity. Because when you're driven by legacy, you don't measure life by how easy it feels, you measure it by how much impact you create. You have to ask yourself, what do you want to be remembered for? Because the answer to that question will expose whether you're chasing comfort or chasing calling. If all you want is comfort, your story ends when your comfort ends. But if you're chasing legacy, your story begins the moment you decide to stand for something greater than yourself. Legacy is not built by those who seek applause, it's built by those who seek purpose even when no one's watching. It's built by consistency, by conviction, by commitment when everything in you wants to quit. Choosing legacy means you'll be misunderstood. People will call you obsessed, intense, too focused. They won't understand why you're waking up early, working late, staying disciplined when everyone else is relaxing, but that's what it takes. You can't leave a mark on the world if you live like everyone else. Legacy demands discomfort because every level of growth requires leaving something behind. A habit, a mindset, a version of you that was only built for the easy seasons. Comfort wants you to repeat the same year and call it progress. Legacy wants you to evolve every year and call it purpose. Comfort keeps you talking about what you're going to do. Legacy keeps you doing it long after the feeling is gone. Comfort gives you the illusion of control. Legacy gives you the reality of meaning. One fades fast, the other lasts forever. The truth is, you can't chase both. The moment you stop building legacy, you'll lose comfort. You'll outgrow circles that don't challenge you. You'll face rejection, judgment, isolation. But all of that is part of the cost, because comfort costs you your potential, but legacy costs you your excuses. And when you trade excuses for excellence, everything changes. You stop living for applause and start living for alignment. You stop seeking approval and start seeking impact. You stop chasing what's easy and start creating what's eternal. Legacy isn't about fame, it's about foundation. It's not about how many people know your name, it's about how many lives were better because you showed up. Comfort will ask, what's in it for me? Legacy asks, who can I become through this? The one who chases comfort might win for a moment, but the one who builds legacy wins for generations. Every choice you make writes your story. Every time you choose comfort, you write another line of safety, routine, and regret. Every time you choose legacy, you write a line of courage, faith, and conviction. Legacy is built one decision at a time, the decision to stay when it's hard, to give when it's inconvenient, to believe when it doesn't make sense. That's where greatness is born. There's nothing wrong with rest, but don't confuse rest with comfort. Rest renews you for the mission, comfort removes you from it. Rest prepares you to go again, comfort convinces you to stop altogether. Rest fuels legacy, comfort kills it. The goal is not to live easy, the goal is to live meaningful. To wake up every day and know that you're building something that matters, something that echoes long after you're gone. You have one life. Don't waste it protecting comfort zones that won't even remember your name. Build something that will, push past the temptation to settle. Keep showing up when it's painful, when it's uncertain, when it feels like no one notices. Because that's what legacy demands, the willingness to sacrifice comfort for calling, ease for endurance, and temporary pleasure for timeless impact. At the end, comfort dies with you, legacy lives beyond you. And that's the difference between existing and becoming unforgettable. So here's where you stand, right now, with both ease and difficulty on the table. You can either passively let one or the other define you, or you can step up, grab both by the horns and say, I will become stronger. I will become wiser. I will build a legacy. I want you to promise yourself this. Next time you feel the ease, don't let it lull you. Use it, and next time you feel the struggle, don't let it break you. Learn from it. Because life being easier and harder at the same time is not a contradiction, it's your invitation. An invitation to show up fully. To give everything you've got, to build something worth remembering. Go out there, embrace the ease, conquer the difficulty, and live with the mindset of legacy. Because the world doesn't just need survivors. The world needs leaders, and you're ready. Thank you.